Yeah, good morning and welcome to yet another online tutorial on microwaves and antennas. Right. So we were discussing about Smith chart. Right. So we are in module one and we were discussing about Smith charts. In fact, this is actually the second session on Smith chart. So because of the cyclone and network effect, last session we had to confine it to a sort of a revision, right? A quick revision, right? Because I couldn't share my screen, right? So we'll continue with like whatever the Smith chart, right? So today I'll be using this particular material to discuss on Smith chart, right? So I'll straight up, I've already made this available and I asked you to what read this once and come. So we'll start with the basics, right? We'll start what actually is Smith chart, right? Um, why is it, where is it used, right? Then also how it is constructed. That is what we are going to see today, right? So we are going to see basics and constructions of Smith chart today, right? So as you can see here, right? So Smith chart is it's a, a graphical aid, right? Smith chart, it's actually what it's a sorry, right, fine. So it's a graphical aid for solving transmission line problems, right? So it's a graphical aid for solving transmission line problems very easily, right? Which would be tedious to solve by analytical method. I already told that. So the expression of Z and all, right? Z is equal to Z naught into, right? So on the numerator we had very lengthy complex expression. Denominator also we had very lengthy complex expression. It's actually what very tedious. It's not that easy, right? Suppose you have a transmission line, right, and of length L, right? What happens is when you move from say one end to the other, so from load end when you are moving towards the source end, what happens is voltage, current, and impedance, and even reflection coefficient, everything actually what changes, right? Only this rho will be constant for a, right, rho will be a constant, that is standing wave ratio will be constant, that is Vmax by Vmin, that will be constant. So apart from that, voltage, current, impedance, reflection coefficient, everything will change. And we have seen it will repeat every actually what lambda by 2 distance, right? Every lambda by 2, this voltage, current, impedance, everything will repeat. So you want to find what is the voltage at a given point or impedance at a given point. Suppose you want to connect something like this, right? You want to take up a connection from this point, right? So you should know what is the impedance at this point, right? So for that, what you should do, you know the impedance at the load end. So from there, you have to travel, right, along this. So that expression is this. How with respect to D, D is actually what distance from load end. These things will change, right? Or else how with respect to Z, these things will change. We have those expressions. Those are very tedious to evaluate. Why? Because each and every element in that is actually what a complex number. So that's why Smith chart is a graphical aid which will help to solve transmission line problems very easily. So when I say transmission line problems, this can be actually what finding reflection coefficient, finding say voltage standing wave ratio, or impedance matching. We'll see what is impedance matching, right? Any such problems can be easily solved, right, using Smith chart. So that is a graphical tool, right? Now we'll see what actually is Smith chart, right? So Smith chart, I've shown you, right? Once again, I'll show you what is Smith chart, right? So this is actually the Smith chart. You can see there are actually what different types of circles, right? Two groups of circles are there. So what are these circles? What actually is this Smith chart? That is what we are going to see now, right? Give me a moment, right? So you can see Smith chart. It consists of actually what plot of normalized impedance or admittance. So plot of normalized impedance or admittance. So we have seen normalized impedance small z. It is equal to what? Equal to line impedance divided by Z naught, right? So, and this will be equal to 1 by say y, right? It will be equal to 1 by y. So this will be normalized impedance. This is normalized impedance, and this y is actually what? Normalized admittance. So it's actually the plot of normalized impedance or admittance, right? So we can use it as a normalized impedance chart or admittance chart. So we'll be using it in both ways, right? I'll tell that later, right? So Smith chart consists of plot of the normalized impedance or admittance with angle and magnitude of generalized complex reflection coefficient, right? So it's, we know there is there was a function, right, using which I can represent Z, right? Sorry, Z line impedance as a function of uh, reflection coefficient. That equation was Z equal to Z naught into, right? Even I yesterday, right, 1 plus, right, gamma L into something and 1 minus gamma L into something. This equation was there, right? So from this equation we'll start, right? If we start, so we will see in detail when constructing this Smith chart. We'll see in detail what actually it is, but for now you just understand, right? It's a plot of normalized impedance or admittance in generalized complex reflection coefficient, right? Or in a complex plane. So complex plane means this gamma, it is a complex quantity, right? Gamma is a complex quantity. It will have a real part and it will have an imaginary part, right? So we have seen that, right? So this will be real part of gamma, this will be imaginary part of gamma, right? And also we have seen how to plot this gamma as a phasor. So we have spent some time on it, right? So gamma as a phasor, if it is gamma L, right? If gamma L is equal to mod of gamma L into e power j theta L, right? So this gamma L can be represented as a phasor, directed line segment with length equal to the magnitude and this angle theta L, right? And if you are representing gamma D as a function of gamma L, right? So we have seen the tip of the phasor will actually what? Tip of the phasor will this trace this path, right? We have seen that, right? So we have seen all those things, right? So I'll repeat that once again, right? So it is the plot of normalized impedance or admittance in complex gamma plane. That is one thing which you have to keep in mind, right? And a plane where the real axis is actually what? Real part of gamma, and imaginary axis is imaginary part of gamma, right? And this entire this Smith chart, it will be confined within actually what? A unit circle, right? It will be confined within a unit circle, right? So why? Because I'll just tell that what is that unit circle, right? So before that, right? So you know this gamma d, right? This gamma d is equal to mod of gamma L into e power minus 2 alpha d times e power j theta L minus 2 beta d, right? So this is what actually is what gamma d, where gamma d is a reflection coefficient at a distance d from the load end, right? So now my question is, what is the maximum value of gamma? Maximum value of magnitude of gamma? That is my question. If you remember how gamma is defined as V reflected by V incident, right? What can be the maximum value of this? And when? Can anyone tell me? We'll just recollect some of the cases, right? So then you'll be able to tell. My question is another question. I'll put it in different way. Can reflected wave be greater than incident wave? Reflected voltage, can it be greater than incident voltage? So what I'm telling is, you have a transmission line, again and again I'm doing the same thing, right? And you have a load impedance, right? ZL. So if some power is incident, a part will be delivered and remaining part will be reflected back, right? So can reflected voltage be greater than incident voltage? Never. Always reflected voltage will be less than incident voltage. If it is a lossy or lossless line, reflected voltage will be always less than incident voltage. So this value will be always less than or equal to 1, right? Magnitude of gamma will always be less than or equal to 1. So for open circuit and short circuit, right, what happens? The entire power will be reflected back, right? So for open circuit and short circuit, mode of gamma will be equal to 1. That is, incident will be equal to reflected, right? And if it is perfectly matched, what will happen? Mode of gamma will be equal to 0. Why? Because if it is perfectly matched, no reflection. Numerator is 0, so mode of gamma will be equal to 0. So in fact, the range of gamma will be actually what? From -1 to +1, right? -1 to +1. So these are the range of values which gamma can take. So in a complex gamma plane, right? So now we'll consider complex gamma plane, right? A complex gamma plane is actually what? Gamma whose x-axis is gamma real and y-axis is gamma imaginary or gamma I, right? So whichever be this gamma d, right? The values which this gamma d can take will lie within a circle of radius equal to 1 and which is centered at 0, 0. Right. So this will be plus 1 and this will be minus 1. Again, this will be plus 1, this will be minus 1. Right. So this entire thing, entire Smith chart, right, it lies within this unit circle. Why? Because the range of gamma, right, the magnitude of gamma, the maximum magnitude of gamma is actually what? 1. Right. So this is actually what? 0, 0. This coordinate is 0, 0. 0, real part is 0, imaginary part is 0. So this is actually what? X-axis and y-axis. Instead of x-axis, I'll be using actually what? Gamma r. Instead of y-axis, I'll be using gamma imaginary. So how can I write equation of the circle? Can anyone tell me how to write equation of the circle? The general equation of a circle is, right, the general equation of a circle, I'll just tell you that that's why I included one question in our prerequisite quiz, right? X minus x1d whole square plus y minus y1d whole square is equal to r square, right? So this is a circle with what will be the coordinate of the center of the circle? Center will be x1 comma y1. So this is a circle in xy plane, right? This is how you can represent a circle in xy plane, 2D plane, right? So if this is the equation, center will be x1 comma y1 and radius will be equal to what? Radius will be equal to r. So this is the equation of general equation of a circle in xy plane. So here instead of x, I have actually what? Gamma r, and instead of y, I have gamma I, and x1 and x2 both are 0, 0 and 0, and radius is equal to actually what? 1. So I can write the circle as gamma r minus 0 the whole square. So it is gamma r square plus gamma I square is equal to 1 square or 1. So this is the circle. So entire Smith chart, it lies within this unit circle. Why? Because the range of the gamma plane, this is right, this is the range of gamma, right? So gamma plane is confined to this unit circle. So this entire actually what? Smith chart lies within this unit circle, right? Okay, any doubt in this? Any doubt? Did you understand what is that unit circle which I referred? I hope so, right? So that is what is actually what mentioned as unit circle. I knew I made it available. You have to read it today itself. You have to read it, right? So, and the Smith chart, I told it's actually what? A plot of normalized impedance or admittance with angle and magnitude of generalized complex reflection coefficient in a complex gamma plane, right? So I know you didn't understand it in deep, but when we construct the Smith chart, you should be able to appreciate it, right? So then what we can do is that it is applicable for both lossless and lossy line, right? It is applicable for both lossless and lossy line, but we'll be interested more in actually what? Lossless line or low loss line, right? We'll be interested more in lossless or low loss line, right? So things are easier there. If it is lossy line, then what happens? You have seen when the gamma phasor rotates, its magnitude is decreasing, and it's actually what? It's also rotating in actually the clockwise sense and all, right? So then the next point which I would like to tell is by simple rotation of the chart, right, the effect of position on the line can be determined. By simple rotation of the chart, the effect of position on the line can be determined. So what is the meaning of this? I'll just tell, right? I'll just once again, right? So you have this again, gamma d is equal to, right, mode of gamma L into e power minus 2 alpha d e power j theta L minus 2 beta d, right? So when you consider this, right, so we have seen for d equal to 0, this will be the phasor, and as d increases, what happens, right? So this is actually what? Theta L. As d increases, this will actually what? The phasor tip will rotate like this. What is the meaning of d increases or d decreases? I would like to make it a bit more clear, right? So what is meant by increasing d or decreasing d in a transmission line? So again, once again, I'm ZL. So this is d equal to 0 and this end is d equal to L, or else this is z equal to 0 and this is z equal to L. So when I am telling d is increasing, which is equivalent to what? Me traveling along the transmission line from load to source and from right to left or towards negative z direction, right? So when I say D increases, we are moving along the transmission line from load to source, right? So we are moving along transmission line from load to source. So I'll write here D increasing means, right, we are moving from load to source, right, or moving towards the source end, right? As D increases, we are moving towards the source end, right? And it will right. So if D increases, how this phasor will rotate? How this phasor will rotate? If D is increasing, right, the phasor will rotate in clockwise sense, right? This phasor will rotate in clockwise sense. We have seen it, right? So this is equivalent to what? Rotation in clockwise. So later on, when I introduce you to actually what after construction of Smith chart and what I'll tell over a Smith chart, if I'm moving in clockwise direction, it is actually what we are moving towards the source end, right? So this is one thing, right? D is increasing. D is increasing. Sorry, right? I'm sorry. It should have been D increasing, right? D increasing from 0 to L means we are moving from source to load. We are moving from load to source, right? So increase in D, that is implied by actually what? Movement from load to source. It is reflected as rotation in clockwise in a Smith chart or a complex gamma plane. In complex gamma plane, it is rotation in clockwise. So what happens as we move from ZL to like load to source? So you can see here the impedance is actually what? Fixed by the ZL, right? Then when you are traveling again, when you move a lambda by 2 distance, again you will see same ZL here. Again, when you move a lambda by 2 distance, you will see same ZL here. And in between, these values will repeat, right? We have seen Z of Z is equal to Z of Z plus lambda by 2, right? Z of Z is equal to Z of Z plus lambda by 2. So for me to understand how this, right, if it is a lossless line, right, if it is a lossless line, for me to understand how this voltage, current or Z changes along the length of transmission line, if I travel a length of lambda by 2, that will be more than sufficient, right? The same thing will repeat everywhere else. So that is why we'll tell the circumference of the Smith chart, right, that will be equal to lambda by 2. Why? Because within lambda by 2, the same thing will repeat, right? Even if it is impedance or admittance, right, it will repeat. So that's what, right, is meant by, right, rotation of chart. And similarly, if D is decreasing, which implies actually what? Movement towards load, right? Movement towards load, right? And it will be corresponding to what? Anti-clockwise rotation, right? Anti-clockwise rotation in Smith chart, right? That is when you are moving from, say, source to load, that is signified by that can be actually what represented as anti-clockwise rotation in Smith chart. And moving from load to source, it is clockwise rotation. So please do keep it in mind. If you are not able to appreciate the entire thing, no problem, right? We'll understand that then, right? So that's it about that. So that is about the introduction to what Smith chart. What is Smith chart, right? Definition. I'm not, right. Just what you do is after this, you read and like, please take it down, put it down in your notebook, right? So, and we have already discussed about some of the characteristics of this normalized impedance, right? So we have seen maximum value of normalized impedance will be equal to actually what? Numerically equal to VSWR. Minimum value of normalized impedance will be equal to reciprocal of VSWR. So these things we'll use in Smith chart, these ideas, right? And we have seen every lambda by 2, it will repeat, right? Those things we have seen, right? Now we'll straight away start with construction of Smith chart, right? So Smith chart, it is actually what? Plot of normalized impedance or normalized admittance in complex gamma plane, right? So how you will represent a circle in a plane? So we know the standard expression, right? X minus x1 the whole square plus y minus y1 the whole square is equal to r square, right? Similarly, we should get some expression like that, right? That is Z in terms of this gamma L, right? For that, the starting point is actually, we know the reflection coefficient at load end, gamma L is equal to ZL minus Z0 divided by ZL plus Z0. And that being a complex number, I can write it as actually what? In polar form like magnitude times phase, or in Cartesian form like gamma R plus J times gamma I. Right, this is understood. Right. And also we know at a distance d from the load end, we can write gamma in terms of gamma d in terms of gamma L as mod of gamma L e power minus 2 alpha d e power j theta L minus 2 beta d. So you already know that. Right. Then those two, so please call it equation number 1 and equation number 2. Right. So now also this is very important thing. I have given you this expression, right? Z in terms of, this is actually what line impedance. Line impedance in terms of gamma L can be represented like this: Z0 into 1 plus gamma L into e power minus 2 gamma d divided by 1 minus gamma L e power minus 2 gamma d. Right? We can write it like this. This is actually impedance at a distance d from load end. Right? Impedance at a distance d from load end. So for instance, if you are considering the load end, if you are considering the load and their impedance is equal to ZL and D equal to 0, right? So if I substitute D equal to 0 in this expression, in expression 3, if I substitute D equal to 0, right, then what I'll get, this Z will become actually what? ZL, right? Z will become ZL. Why? Because at load and the impedance is load impedance, right? And this e power 2 gamma 0 and e power minus 2 gamma 0, that will become 1. So what I'll get is Z is equal to ZL, that is equal to Z0 into 1 plus gamma L divided by 1 minus gamma L. Right. What I have done is you have just substituted D equal to 0 in equation number 3. Right. Please feel free to stop me, right, if I'm going too fast, or if you think I'm not explaining something, right, you are missing out something. If you have any doubts, please feel free to stop me. Unless you stop, I'll just, right, go in this pace. Right. We need to pick up pace a little bit now. Right. So now, so this is the load impedance, right? Load impedance at D equal to 0, right? At load end, right? At load end, this is the load impedance, right? Now we need to find normalized impedance. So this is small case, okay? This is small case Z. So the normalized impedance will be equal to what? Z by Z, right? Normalized impedance capital Z by Z0, that is capital ZL by Z0. So if you divide, right? Say I'll call it equation number 3a, that if you divide both left hand side and right hand side with respect to Z0, what will happen? You'll get ZL by Z0 equal to Z0 by Z0 into this. So this ZL by Z0 will become actually what? Normalized impedance, right? ZL by Z0 is actually what? Normalized impedance at the load end, right? And this Z0 and Z0 will get cancelled. So what will be left out is this. So that's what is written. So normalized impedance, this is small k Z, that is equal to capital ZL by Z0 at D. So this is at D equal to 0, okay? At D equal to 0, I'm mentioning, right? That is equal to 1 plus gamma L divided by 1 minus gamma L. And as it is a complex number, it will have a real part and it will have an imaginary part. So it is R plus JX. It should be small x, right? R plus JX. So this real part is normalized resistance and imaginary part is normalized reactance, right? So in Smith chart, what you have is we have two sets of circle. One is actually what? Constant R circle, constant normalized resistance circle, and other one is constant normalized reactance circle, right? So okay, now also, right, from this, how can we find out gamma L? So if you rearrange it, you can find gamma L to be equal to what? Z minus 1 by Z plus 1. If you, right, if you rearrange this, you can easily write gamma L as, so equation 4, if you rearrange, you can write gamma L is equal to Z minus 1 by Z plus 1. And that in turn is actually what? A complex quantity. It will have a real part and it will have an imaginary part. So that is equation number 5. Any doubt till here? Any doubt till here? Am I going too fast? Right. As I already asked you to read this once and come, right, I'm going a bit fast. If you have any doubt, please feel free to ask. Any doubt till now? Please do type in. Right. I want everyone to respond. Please respond yes or no. If you have any doubt, please unmute and ask, or else you can type in chat window. If you don't have any doubt, if you don't ask any questions, please do let me know. No doubt. Right. Okay, I'll ask Jay. Jay Naik, can you please unmute? Jay,
Yes, sir.
do you have any doubt?
No, sir.
No doubt. You understood.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So far, have you read it once before?
Please, no, sir. Today I'll read.
Okay. Today you have to read. Right.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, you can mute. Ashwin. Ashwin, can you please unmute?
Yes, sir.
Any doubt so far?
No, sir.
Huh?
No, no.
No. Right. I can continue. Right.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So we have till here. So equation number 5 is there. Right. So this is the construction of Smith chart. What I'm discussing now. Right. So now, right. Now what we can do is we can write right Z as actually what this R plus JX, right? Z, that is R plus. If you substitute actually what gamma in this, in equation number 4, if you substitute gamma L is equal to gamma R plus J gamma I, right? In equation number 4, if you substitute, so what you are doing is in 4 put equation number 5, that is gamma L is equal to gamma R plus J gamma I. If you put that, you will get it like this: small z, that is normalized impedance, is equal to R plus J small x, right? R plus J small x, right? That is equal to, sorry, right? R plus J, that is equal to 1 plus gamma R plus J gamma I divided by 1 minus gamma R minus J gamma I. It's very straightforward. I'm not doing that. You can just, right? So what we are doing is put 5 in 4. Substitute gamma L is equal to this, right? So we are getting this now. We need to find what is this R and X. So this R is nothing but what? Real part of this right hand side, right? R is actually what? Real part of right hand side, and X is nothing but what? Imaginary part of this right hand side. But if you see the right hand side, it is actually what? Fraction of two complex numbers, right? In Cartesian form. So if you have such a fraction, how you will find the real and imaginary part? How you will find? You will divide and multiply with the complex conjugate of denominator, right? So this is the denominator. You divide and multiply with complex conjugate of this. Then you will get, you will be able to what? Find out the real and imaginary part. So if you write it like this, you won't be able to find the real and imaginary part. So that is what we are going to do next. So on right hand side of equation number 6, we are going to divide and multiply with the complex conjugate of this denominator. So complex conjugate of this denominator, it is actually what? A plus A minus JB. So the complex conjugate will be A plus JB, right? So this, instead of this minus, we'll get a plus. That's it, right? So that's what we are doing here. To find the real and imaginary parts of Z, we are multiplying and dividing RHS of 6 by complex conjugate of denominator. I mentioned it in here, right? So when you are reading it, you'll be able to appreciate it, right? So Z is equal to R plus J X, that is equal to, this is our actual right hand side. You are multiplying and dividing it with complex conjugate. So this is a complex conjugate of denominator, right? Complex conjugate of this, right? Complex conjugate of denominator. You are multiplying and dividing, right? So then once you do that, then you will get it as actually what? A real part plus J times imaginary part. So that real part, you will get it like this. I'm not doing it. I'm just asking you to try it out. So even if you are not able to what, try it out, that won't be a problem. So we'll get actually what? R is, real part is equal to this 1 minus gamma R square minus gamma I square whole divided by 1 minus gamma R square plus gamma I square, and imaginary part will be 2 gamma I divided by 1 minus gamma R square plus gamma I square. So this is actually what? R and X in terms of say gamma R and gamma I, right? Now what I need is, somehow I need to rearrange this and write it in the form of a circle, right? Somehow I need to rearrange it and write it down in the form of a circle. So that can be done easily. You can rearrange it and can be written down as in the form of a circle, right? So again, I'm not showing that, right? So the form of circle means it's in this form: x minus x1 the whole square plus y minus y1 the whole square is equal to radius square. Right, so instead of x we have gamma r, instead of y we have actually what? Gamma I, right? And so x1, y1 and radius, all those things will be actually what? Functions of x and y, and functions of x and y, of functions of r and x, right? So equation, this is equation number 7 and equation number 8. So this equation 7 and 8 can be rearranged as follows, right? So this is how we can rearrange equation number 7 and 8. 7 is rearranged as equation number 9 and 8 is rearranged as equation number 10, right? So this, instead of the x-axis, so this is x-axis and this is y-axis. Instead of x we have gamma r, instead of y we have gamma I. So this is actually what? Our x-axis, right? Gamma r is our x-axis or x. Why I'm not writing simple x? Why? Because you don't have to, you should not confuse it with this x, reactance x, right? Yeah. So this is x and this is x1 and this is y minus y1. So this is right here, y1 is equal to 0. So this is actually what? Y square and x minus x1 the whole square plus y square is equal to what? This is radius. Radius square. Radius is this. So you can see equation number 9, right? It is equation of a circle, right? Can you tell me what is the center and what is the radius? So you can write. So the standard expression is x minus x1 the whole square plus y minus y1 the whole square is equal to radius square. So x1 is actually what? R by 1 plus r. So I can write center is at r by 1 plus r comma 0 and y1 is 0, right? Center is at r by 1 plus r comma 0 and radius is equal to, right, 1 by 1 plus r, 1 by 1 plus r. So this is radius. So this is equation of a circle in complex gamma plane, right? Equation number 9, it is equation of a circle in complex gamma plane with center at r by 1 plus r comma 0, right? Which means the real part of the real coordinate of the center is actually what? Gamma r is r by 1 plus r and imaginary it is actually what? 0. So it is gamma I equal to 0. It will lie on the real axis. Maybe we'll see a GeoGebra simulation of that, right? So then radius is 1 by 1 plus r. So what happens for a given r? You will get a circle. So if r is equal to, so what will happen to this when r is equal to 0? Can anyone tell me what will happen to that circle when r is equal to 0? Equation number 9. Substitute r equal to 0. So it is gamma r minus 0. Yeah, sorry, I got disconnected. Am I audible now? Sorry.
Yes, sir.
Okay, yeah. Sorry, I got disconnected. Yeah. So okay, yeah. So yeah. So we were discussing about this, right? So equation number 9 is that of a circle with center at r by 1 plus r comma 0 and radius is actually what? 1 by r. And similarly, equation number 10, that is again a circle in complex gamma plane, right? So this is our x, this is x1, this is y, y1 and this is r. So center is actually what? 1 comma 1 by x and radius is 1 by x. So we are getting two circles, right? We are getting two circles. So those two circles are actually what? Constant r and constant x circles, right? You can see many set of circles, right? Constant r and constant x circles. So what I'll do is at this point of time, right? So are you able to appreciate these are two equations of circles? We'll quickly recollect what we have done, right? We started with the expression for z, right? Then we found normalized impedance. Then we have written it in terms of gamma r and gamma I. Then we found what is R and what is X, real part and imaginary part. Then we rearranged it in the form of a circle, right? It in the form of a circle, right? So you should remember these. These are the equations which, right, will construct your Smith chart, right? So we'll see. So this is equation number 9 is called actually what? Constant R circle, and equation number 10 is actually what? Constant X circle or constant reactant circle, right? Constant resistance and constant reactant circle. So what I'll do is I'll just we have to see what happens to it when R changes, right? What, of course, when R changes, center of the circle will change and also radius also will change, right? And similarly, when X changes, center of the circle will change and radius also will change. So we'll see that. For that, I'll be using a GeoGebra simulation, right? Give me a moment. I'll just switch over to my Wi-Fi connection, right? Am I audible now? A quick feedback, please.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. And any doubt so far? Any doubt? These are not actually what not straightforward things. There are little bit complications. I admit, but right. I think with whatever the prerequisite you have, you should be able to appreciate it. Right? Is it okay? Did I go very fast? Do you think I skipped too many steps?
Yeah.
I went a bit fast. Jitendra. Jitendra,
Yes, sir.
you told like you felt I went a bit fast today.
No, sir, I didn't told, sir.
Is it okay? Maybe fine.
Is it okay? Okay, sir.
Okay, fine. We'll see the simulation now, right? So what I've done is this one I've just shared, right? I've just shared with you people this GeoGebra simulation. So this is actually what. Let me just zoom it in a bit, right? So this is complex gamma plane, right? So this x-axis is actually what? Real gamma, and y-axis is actually what? Imaginary part of gamma, right? Then what I've just written this expression, same thing, right? I've written this expression, gamma r minus r by 1 plus r plus gamma I square, right? So this expression I have written. So and GeoGebra, right? What instead of gamma r and gamma I used x and y, right? Instead of gamma r and gamma y, I used x and y. Why? Because GeoGebra won't understand if I write gamma r and gamma y. For me, it's actually what x-axis and y-axis, right? So in GeoGebra, I've written it as x and y. Apart from that, everything else is intact, right? So now we see what happens if, right, r changes. So now this is r equal to 0, right? For r equal to 0, all of you can see this, I guess, right? R equal to 0, what happens? It circle which is centered at origin. The circle is centered at origin and its radius is equal to 1. Right, for r to 0, the circle is centered at origin and the radius is equal to 1. Right, is it correct? Is it supposed to be like for r equal to 0? We'll go back to the expression and see. Right, when you substitute r equal to 0 in this equation number 9, what are we getting? When you substitute r equal to 0 in equation number 9, are getting gamma r square plus gamma I square is equal to 1 square. Are we getting when we put r equal to 0? Please, all of you, please try this, right? If you passively listen, right, it's going to be difficult, right? So please do try to get engaged and involved, right? So for r equal to 0, I am getting a circle which is centered at origin and radius is equal to 1. Is it so? Yes, it's supposed to be, and our GeoGebra simulation also says the same, right? So that is maybe right. So I'll just right. So for r equal to 0, so this is a circle, right? And maybe I'll just change r equal to, I'll make r equal to 0.2. So when I make r equal to 0.2, I'm getting this circle, right? When I'm getting r equal to 0.5, I'm getting even a smaller circle. R equal to 1, this is a circle. R equal to 2, this is a circle. R equal to 5, right? R equal to 10. And what will happen if r is equal to infinity? So you can see what happens as r increases, the center, right? Initially for r equal to 0, center was at origin. But as r increases, center is moving towards is actually what? Moving along this. 1 second. Did anyone type in anything? Okay, yeah, fine. So can you see what is happening as r increases? What is happening? The center is moving towards the positive gamma r axis, right? So from 0 to, it is moving towards actually what? +1, right? And radius is decreasing, of course, right? Radius is decreasing. So I can show it as actually what? I can show it as a simulation, right? So from instead of r0 to say 100, right, at steps of say 0.1, I'll take, right? So you can see what happens to this r, right? This is r equal to 0. So as can you see what is happening as r increasing, right? R equal to 0, r increasing, that's it is going to be actually what? Right, r equal to 0, it's actually what? A unit circle. All of you are able to see this, right? So, and you can see when r is actually what? Approaching infinity, when r is equal to infinity, what will happen? When r is equal to infinity, this will be a point, right? It will shrink to a point at gamma r equal to 1 and gamma I equal to 0, right? Similarly, the equation of x, right? Equation of x, I'll show what happens to that when r changes, right? So x can be both positive and negative. Okay, you have to, right? X is reactance, it can be positive or negative, right? So when x is negative, you can see this is right. So when I change this, right, now x is negative, right? X is 0 and x is positive. What is happening to that circle? What is happening to that circle? All of you are able to appreciate it? All of you are able to appreciate what is happening? Can you observe that what is happening to when x is negative, that circle lies in the actually what? Bottom half plane, and x is positive, the circle is actually what? On the top plane, right? So sorry, r equal to 0, right? And you don't have to consider that part of circle which is outside the unit circle, right? So this unit circle which I have shown, that is r equal to 0, it is the unit circle, right? You have to consider the changing x only inside the unit circle. So these are actually what? This is what is happening actually, right? So now what I'll do is I'll just try and plot for different values of r and different values of x, right? So this is for different values of r, and now for different values of x. So this is x equal to what? -10, right? X equal to say this -5, right? So for different values of x, you can see the for all these x is actually what? Negative. For when x is negative, the circle lies in the bottom half, right? And when x is positive, what are we seeing? Right, when x is 0, it will be a straight line along actually what? Real axis. When x is positive, the circle lies on the positive side of imaginary plane. So this, right? So you just omit neglect the parts outside this unit circle. So this is actually a Smith chart, right? This is actually a Smith chart, right? So I'll show it there now, right? So Smith chart is nothing but what? These circles plotted in. So these are actually what? Right? Constant r circles, right? Constant r circles. You know what is the equation of constant r circle? These are constant x circles. We have seen this, right? And this is the Smith chart. Finally, this is the Smith chart, right? So can you see their constant r and constant x circles? The outermost circle will be actually what? R equal to 0, right? Then as r increases, Can you see different constant R circles here? And can you see parts of constant X circles also? Right. So constant R circles will be like this. Right. Constant R circles and constant X circles will be these parts. Right. All of you are able to see this now? All of you are able to appreciate this. Can you see two sets of circles, constant R and constant X circles? Please do type in chat window. Right. Please, right. So it's not like for some of you may be able to appreciate it straight away, but others, those who didn't, right, get it, please do go home, read it again and again, and try to use this GeoGebra simulation, right? So now, whether this chart makes some sense. Initially, I asked you, do you have any idea about this? Have you come across anything like this before? You told no. Right. Now, are you able to appreciate this Smith chart? It is actually what two sets of circles. It's actually what plot of this complex normalized impedance in complex gamma plane. Right. It consists of two parts. Right. Constant R circles and constant X circles, and everything happens within a unit circle. Right. Are you able to appreciate that much? Please do type in. Right. Yeah. So okay. So from initially we didn't know anything about Smith chart. Right? We didn't know anything about Smith chart initially, but now little bit we are actually able to understand it. It's not that complicated. Initially, when you saw that, whether you were able to identify those two sets of circles, no, I guess. But now you should be able to identify. So these are actually four different values of R and X. So those values will be written here. I'll send you a good copy, a PDF of this Smith chart. I'll post it in Canvas. You can. So this is R equal to 0. It will mark R equal to 0, 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, 0.5, and R equal to 1. Right. It actually passes through the origin. Right. That circle passes through the origin. Right. R equal to 1. Then further, when we increase R, that circle actually reduces, and R equal to infinity will be a point at gamma R equal to 1, gamma I equal to 0. Right. And similarly, X equal to minus values will be below this. Right. And X equal to positive will be above that. X equal to 0 will be actually what? It will be a straight line. It will be a straight line. And we can see this will be actually what? R equal to infinity and X equal to infinity. That will be this right hand side point. That is actually what? R equal to infinity and X equal to, that is actually what? Infinite impedance. That is open circuit point. And similarly, R equal to 0 and X equal to 0 will be actually what? This one, short circuit point. Right. So those things we'll tell. And further, I'll add, right, moving in clockwise sense is actually what? It is movement towards the source end, and moving in anti-clockwise sense is actually what? Movement towards load end. And any normalized impedance value you take, it will have one R and X. So suppose the normalized impedance value is 1 plus J3. So what I should do is I should find out the R equal to 1 circle first. So R equal to 1 circle is actually what? This one. This is R equal to 1 circle. Right. This is R equal to 1 circle. Right. And J3 means actually what? It will be on the top. Right. So J3, it will be somewhere here. So this is that impedance point. Right. This is a normalized impedance point. Right. That's how we'll use this. So I think we'll wind it up here. If you have any doubt, please feel free to ask. Otherwise, right, it's time for you to join the next class. You can just type in your USN and you can leave the meet. Right. If you have any doubt, please feel free to ask. You can either text me or you can post it in. Right. Should read today itself. Today itself, everyone should go and read this. Right. And thank you so much for joining.
Sir,
Yeah, Nitish,
sir,
tell me. Yeah.
sir, that link, sir, initially it opened, sir, and then after loading for a while, it said like it cannot be opened.
Okay, I'll share another link. I'll post in Canvas. Okay. Hmm?
Okay, sir. Okay.
Open link I'll post in. Thanks for letting me know. Hmm?
Okay, sir.
Yeah.